The Intellectual Physical Challenge Career Driver. Meeting Mission Impossible. The challenge career driver, which we're going to call it for short, is energized by the mere thought of the impossible. So if you've got this as a primary driver, particularly if it's primary, then if I say to you something like, hey, we've got a problem that so far nobody's been able to solve, but you know what? We think that if we resource you correctly, you're going to be the one who's going to be able to do the breakthrough. What happens to you? Well, if you are a primary challenge driver, you begin to get excited and you are all in even before you know what that challenge is. Challenge-driven people are motivated by the pure challenge. So this doesn't have to be physical challenge, although for some people it's both. For some people it's pure intellectual challenge. But as a group, in either way, they love to be the hero. They love to swoop in and be that point person who's going to lead themselves or the team to victory. They get an extra thrill from knowing that it's never been done before, that this is a first, that it's going to be hard, that it's a breakthrough. So challenge drivers tend to be self-described adrenaline junkies. So that's how they'll say it themselves. They're seeking adventure and they're seeking thrill. The thing is, they think everybody's as motivated by challenge as they are. Many managers who have taken this education have reflected that not everyone on their team is as motivated by challenge as they are. And it's a big eye-opener. But for the challenge person, they're competitive by nature. And they thrive on competition. And if it's not going to be against somebody else, it can be against themselves. They'll make up competitions to keep it interesting. This driver loves a deadline or a limitation to break through. So if they're asked to get a project done in a really short time period, that's not as exciting as knowing that nobody's ever been able to do it in less than 7 days. Do you think you could do it in 5? That doubles down on the excitement. Now, every driver has got its upside and its downside. And for the challenge-driven person, when the goal is in reach or even in sight, when they know that finish line is going to get crossed, suddenly their interest level drops like a stone. So they tend to stir the waters to see what's next. You see, challenge-driven people eat through experiences. They go through life doing it big, and knowing what's next or looking for next. So next is a very big thing for a challenge-driven person. Challenge-driven people are rarely interested in the long-term implementation or maintenance phases once the exciting phase of discovery is over. This can make them excellent team members as long as they're clear about that and people know their roles with people who like keeping the engines humming. They like to be the initiators and they extreme dislike repetition. So repetition is a killer for challenge people. They don't want to repeat experiences. They don't want to repeat tasks. And if they're going to repeat an experience, it has to be measurably different, bigger, and better than the last time they did a similar task. So again, they can team very well with people to whom they can hand off the long-term or repetitive aspects of the work they're involved in. So challenge people, ultimately, what do they most value? A difficult environment to conquer. They want to take the hill, but they can have a long career as long as it has a project orientation, meaning a long career in a particular job. The thing to be careful about here is to not assume that having challenge means that you're going to hop from one job to another. Some people do because they've been there, they've done that, got the t-shirt, and next. But for many people, they can stay in a role for many years as long as it's project orientation, clear beginning, middle, and end, and then on to the next thing. So be careful about the assumption that it means that you make a lot of moves. Some do, but some can really stay in the long haul as long as it's got that project. So what they want is variety and change to counteract being easily bored, and mostly being attuned to, hey, what's next? What's next is going to be a challenge.